It's a pleasure to be with all of you. B'shus your Rebbe, Rabbi Kotler. We're going to be sponsored by the Rubin family for Hatzlacha in all what they do. You know, I was thinking as I was walking to the Churba, what could I speak to you about? What would be the biggest gift that I could give you? So we know Moshe Rabbeinu said, Ma Hashem elikecha shoyel me'imach kiyim liyira. What does Hashem ask from you but that you should fear Him? It's a very interesting, Moshe Rabbeinu gave us the whole Torah. And he knows that the Torah is full of stuff. Shatnez and Kashras, and Shabbos and Tefillin, Sukkah and Shchita, Mezuzah. I mean, Ma Hashem Elokecha Shoyel Me'imach. What does He ask from you? Kiyim Liyirah. So Rabbi Avigdor Miller said that the translation of Yirah is that you should see Hashem. And that's the job of our life, that we should live our life with Hashem. We should live Hashem. B'chol drachecha do'ehu. In all our ways, we should acknowledge Him. Shivisi Hashem l'negdi summit. By the way, there's all kinds of hints. For example, anytime you learn Gemara, maybe some of you are familiar with the name Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas. What kind of a name is Shilas? But Shilas is an acronym of Shivisi Hashem l'negdi summit. Talk about his bodedus, to be boded. Boded is b'chol drachecha de'ehu. To realize Hashem, there's three parts to the Torah. There's chukim, mishpatim, and edus. Edus is what we're talking about. Edus are testimonials. What are testimonials? Edus is Deus. Same letters, Edus and Deus. It gives us knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of Hashem. So for example, a premium example of Edus is a mezuzah. The mezuzah is at the door. You're supposed to hear, in America we have such an idea of subliminal messaging. It's supposed to send out a message to mezuzah. Hashem is in the room. Hashem is watching you. We call it a yarmulke, right? Yarmulke is Yorei Malka. Malka in Aramaic, Mem Lamed Chaf Aleph, is king. To be aware of the king. So I have clothes over here because you see me. I have a yarmulke over here because Hashem is on top of me. So that's an edus. Tefillin is an edus. We used to wear tefillin the whole day. We can't do it now because we don't have a guf naki. But we used to wear tefillin that we should think of Hashem all the time. So the Gemara Menachos says, Ma Hashem elikecha shoyel me'imach kiyim liyira, al tikrei ma elameya. What's meya? The 100 brachas that we make every day. If we train ourselves to make 100 brachas every day, then we're going to become a Yarei Shamayim. Because you have water, shakol niyabidvar, go to the bathroom, roifei kol basim afli lasas. You put on the tzitzis, al mitzvah tzitzis, lo niach tefillin, borei minei mezainis, ala michyav al kalkala, hazanes hakol. You know, there used to be in America, you're too young, I'm sure you heard of it, but you're too young to remember. There used to be a clown called Bozo the Clown. You ever hear of Bozo? It was a clown with I don't even think you remember. You remember Bozo? It was a clown with a big red nose. It's called Bozo. So I once heard from Rav Avigdor Miller. He said, imagine if I would tell you, today I want you to say bozo 100 times. Pastor Bozo. You look like Bozo. The day is very dull. Doesn't look like Bozo. Bozo, 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 Bozo. By the end of the day, you'd be bozoed. He says that's the idea of 100 brachas. If you say Baruch Atah Hashem with a feeling 100 times, by the end of the day, you're thinking about Hashem. That's the idea of Al Tikrei Mo Elameya. That's how you get to be a Yirah. And by the way, this is not optional. Reishis Chachma Yiras Hashem. Seichel Toiv. Hein Yiras Hashem Hi Chachma. Now what does it mean, Hein? Shekain Beloshin Yevani in Greek, Kairin Lehina Akas. The number one knowledge is Yiras Hashem. You ever wonder why some people, they don't succeed in yeshiva? Kol sheyirasai kaidemes l'chachmasai, chachmasai miskayemes. It says in Pirkei Avos, if the Yirah precedes the chachma, then the chachma will have a kiyum. Torah is a funny business. You know, when I went to yeshiva, I was together with geniuses. Genius. When I went to the yeshiva of Staten Island, I learned by Ramosha Feinstein. I was together with geniuses. I mean, geniuses. We used to have a test on the entire Masechta. We would learn the entire Masechta, like Masechtas Ksuvas. There was a test with 100 questions on Gemara and Rashi on the whole Masechta. And then there were 5 extra credit on Tosfos. 105 questions. I knew somebody when I was young, every year he got 105. He was a genius. He didn't amount to anything special. I mean, Hashem is the judge what's special, what do I know? But he's not a big Rosh Hashiva or a rabbi or a Maggid Shir or anything. Torah is a funny business. You need to have other ingredients to succeed in Torah. Did you ever wonder? You're all Americans? So I assume you know what a movie set means. It's the background of a movie. Especially in science fiction movies, they spend millions of dollars on the set. Now let's say, what's the movie set of Har Sinai? What's the backdrop of Har Sinai? Choshech, Anan, Arafel, darkness, clouds, swirling black, Oshan, smoke. If you were the producer, would you make that the backdrop of Har Sinai? Torah is sun, rainbows, swirling white angels, strobes of light. Did they get it wrong? I want you to know, I had this question for years. For years. And I finally found the question in the Tosfos Rosh on Chumash. Tosfos Rosh on Chumash says, why was the background of Har Sinai Choshech and not Or? And he says a fascinating answer. He says it should have been light. But because we were going to sin with the Egel Azav, we didn't get it. So many of you will say, because you're knowledgeable, you're B'nai Yeshiva, what? The Rabbeinu Shalom only does Basher Husham. He doesn't look at the future. He doesn't deprive us because what we're going to do. That's what happened with Yishmael. Why did he save Yishmael? That's the Zayda of Arafat. That's the Zayda of the Intifada. That's the Zayda of homicide bombers and Scud missiles. Why didn't he just get rid of Yishmael? Let him die of thirst over there. Basher Husham. Shmuel didn't deserve it. So what's going on over here with Torah? The answer is, you're right. We're not punished for what we're going to do in the future. But you want to have mesikus ha-Torah, sweetness of Torah, gishmak of Torah, hatzlochas ha-Torah. That doesn't come unless you're going to behave. Otherwise, Hashem says, sorry, I'm not giving you the treasures. You're not going to see the or. You're not going to see the light. It's a very important thing to know if you're learning Torah. I tell my Balabat, why? You come to the Daf Yomi, some people are having Hatzlacha and they're steiging, another person says, I don't remember it, I don't enjoy it. If you're going to go home and yell at your wife after the shir, you're not getting Hatzlachas HaTorah. If you're going to go out to business and cheat, I'm not giving you Or Torah. That's all you have to know. That's why some boys go to Yeshiva and they steig, and they have Hatzlacha. And other boys, when is this man over? Yeah, I'm looking forward to lunch. Maybe we'll go out and play some soccer. Why? Because if you go into the room and speak Lashon Hara, Hashem says, sorry, you're not. It's not like studying calculus. If you study calculus and you got a good mind and a good teacher, not Torah. Torah doesn't work that way. You want to have Hatzlacha? You want to have Hatzlacha, you have to behave. And that's why Reishis Chachma Yirah Hashem. And I have to tell you, if you want to be a Yirah Shamayim, the best thing to work on is something that many people don't work on. And that's Tefilla. You know, there's a Gemara in Brachas. Gemara in Brachas says, Gedayla Tefilla Yosim Emasim Torah. Prayer is greater than good deeds. Shenema v'eschanan Hashem v'yisahi leimar. And then the Rabban Shalom said, okay, Alei Rosh HaPizga, I'll let you see the land. Go up to the cliff, v'soinecha, I'll let you see. So Tefillah helped. Moshe Rabbeinu did the biggest Hatzalah crawl in the history of mankind. He took us out of Egypt. He brought us down to Torah. He saved us from being annihilated by the Chet HaEgel. He said, Mecheni na mesifracha. But you know what got Moshe Rabbeinu to see the land? Tefillah. Gedoyla Tefillah Yosim Emaisim Torah. So the question is, if I ask my wife, Shashi, what do you like better, the washing machine or the vacuum cleaner? What's more important, the dishwasher or the oven? She'll look at me. You're comparing apples to oranges. How can you compare? They're both important. How could you say that Tefillah is more important than good deeds? Tefillah is more important than Bikkur Chaylim? Tefillah is more important than Achnasas Kala? How could you say that? I'll tell you what it means. What's the true test of me being a Yirah Shamayim? When I visit the sick, it could be for my own ulterior motives. Yeah, one day he might help me. He'll remember I did him a favor. Most of the things we do is a quid pro quo. I do for you, you do for me. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Oh, but Tefillah? When you open the siddur, what you're having in mind, you're davening Shemona Esrei. Are you having in mind talking to Hashem, or you're thinking what you're going to eat for lunch? You're talking to Hashem, or you're thinking about what you're going to do for Shabbos? Who knows that? Only the Rabbeinu Shalom. It's a true barometer of Yirah Shamayim. And that's why so many people don't daven good. I like to call, there are a lot of people that are space cadets. Because when they open the siddur, they space out. They're space cadets. And by the way, now is the time to get used to really davening. Because if you get used to it when you're your age, when you become my age, you're going to really daven. I have to work on my davening. Because when I was your age, I didn't work enough. So now, to daven without any distraction, I really have to work on it. And by the way, this is not a new problem. This is new. You'll say, yeah, we're all teched up. We have cell phones. We have this. We can't. Everybody is ADD and all kinds of alphabets. And it's... No. The Gemara says over 1,000 years ago, Dvarim she'aimdim berumay shalaylam, Tefilla is something that goes to the top of the world of Bnei Adam is alzlam. The Rosh, in his Sefer Orchos Chaim LaRosh, says you should work on having kavanah in the first parsha of Kriyas Shema and the first bracha of Shemoneh Esrei. Can you believe that? That's 1,000 years ago. Already then, they were having tremendous problems concentrating. But that's working on Yirah Shamayim. That's working on Yirah Shamayim. I want to tell you something. Rav Shamshon Pincus, Zechat Tzadik L'Bracha Zchus Yagan Aleinu, said a great thing. He said Hashem doesn't get involved personally in your life. No, there is hashgacha pratis, but if you want Hashem to, get personally involved, you got to ask Him. Or as Rav Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, the venerable Rav of Yerushalayim, said, it's nice to say that in Yerushalayim, in the old city. Hakol zakuk l'tefillah. Everything needs prayer. So Rav Doniel Travis gave a recommendation that I try to do. And this is a big gift. Who knows, maybe I came to Eretz Yisrael. I came to Eretz Yisrael for many reasons, but who knows, maybe the main reason I came is to give you this gift. Who knows? One always wonders. Tonight I'm going to give a shir about my Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Moshe, somewhere in Yerushalayim. I'm going to Tefilla to speak at a convention. Who knows, maybe the main reason I came was to give you this gift. Rav Daniel Travis said that in every tefillah, you're going to daven mincha at 3 o'clock, think about what you need till Mariv. And before Yehilu Ratzon Imrei Fi, ask Hashem. Before Mariv, you're going to eat supper? Is supper before Mariv? Yeah. You could ask Hashem, I should like the supper. I should find what to eat. When I get it, it shouldn't be cold. It's okay, you could talk to Hashem. Hashem says, I like when you talk to me. What, do you have a second Seder in the afternoon? I should understand the Taisus. Maybe I should be mechavan to a marsha. You can ask Hashem. I should get along with my friends. Then, don't ask more than that. Just till Mariv. Because when you daven Mariv in the Yirah, you're going to ask Hashem that you should have a good night and you should sleep well. And the water in the shower should be hot. And then in the morning, Shachris, ask till Mincha. It's an amazing discipline. It's living with Hashem. It's amazing how you could upgrade your life if you use tefillah. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. How we could upgrade our life if people would know, because Kikel Shemet Tefillas Kol Pam Yisrael Barachamim. Hashem listens to Tefillas Kol Pam. So you really could upgrade, we could upgrade our lives if we daven. Now, I'll give you one more gift. What Ramila said, he said, after the first bracha of Magen Avraham, which is the reason why the first bracha is so important, is because you can imagine you come to the palace of Hashem, the gates are closed. Gates are closed. You want them to open, you have to say the password. What's the password? Oh, I'm a child of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Ooh, the doors swing open. But after that, the next important part is Maidim. Rav Miller used to say, you should have in mind one thing in Maidim. One thing. Every Maidim. If you liked my speech, so by Mincha say Maidim, I heard a good speech. If you didn't like it, you have to think about something else. But every Maidim, and you prepare for it, it makes it so meaningful. It makes it so meaningful. Like, I say Maidim, I met Rabbi Kotler and I got an opportunity to speak to you. Maidim. Who do you think orchestrated that? Hashem. That's a good Maidim. But Maidim could be anything. I needed a bus and it came right away, Maidim. But one thing, every tefillah, think about one thing. And you want to know, some people daven and they're not answered. Other people daven and they are answered. So there's a gematria, seals a gematria. There's a gematria Mesechtes Kala. Mesechtes Kala is one of the small Mesechtes. Mesechtes Kala, it says that the gematria of Shaveya, 376, our cry, is the same gematria as Shalom, which is 376. He says a person that pursues peace ain't tefillasoi chizeres reka. If you're a person that likes peace, everybody says, I am a peace-loving guy. Yeah, but I always have to have my way, but I'm a peace-loving guy. That's not a peace-loving guy. Tolerance, being forgiving, looking away. If a person has those midos, then ain't tefillasoi chizeres reka. May it be the will of Hashem that we should be able to daven well. It should lead us to Yirah Shamayim, to be aware of Hashem. Remember, any time the Ramban says, and we're right near the Ramban's shul. All of you saw the Ramban shul? You know what? I davened there once, this week Sunday. The first thing that struck me is when I came in, I saw the 3 pillars. There's 3 pillars there. And the first thing that struck me is, right, al shloisha dvarim ha'olam oimed. Al ha'torah, al ha'avodah, al gemilas v'sadim. Ramban says, any time we make a decision to do something or not to do something because it's what Hashem would want, that's our decision-making mechanism, we're fulfilling the mitzvah d'oraisa of Es Hashem Alikecha Tira. We're fearing Hashem. So if you say to yourself, no, I'm not going to say this, it's Lashon Hara. That's Es Hashem Alikecha Tira. If you say, I'm not going to look at that, it's not right. That's Es Hashem Alikecha Tira. You know what? I'm going to sit and say Tillim a little bit instead of wasting my time. Es Hashem Alikecha Tira. Should be Zaycha Tira Shemayim. Hashem should be Mamalei. Kol Mishalei Seinu L'Teiva.